I'm Jim Amon with Amon Real Estate, and I'm sitting down with Joe Umaker, one of our agents who completed our apprenticeship here at the office. We were going through and getting an idea of his experience as an agent and with our company and how it was going through our apprenticeship program. So, Joe, what were you doing prior to getting into real estate?
Well, I have a background in information and technology and management, and I was the administrative director for a Northern California nonprofit for 10 years prior to making the jump to real estate.
Great. So when you started, what was the initial reason that you started looking towards getting into real estate?
Well, I had a desire to make the move to a career where my drive, skills, my talents would all be more directly reflected in my future financial potential. In other words, where the amount and quality of effort is directly reflected in my financial earnings.
That makes a lot of sense. So what type of concerns did you have before you actually made the jump?
Well, I wanted to make sure I was in a financial position to make the jump to real estate. In my opinion, when you start in real estate, you need to have sufficient savings to cover personal and professional expenses that are necessary to make a real estate business work.
Okay, makes sense. And to see, you just finished your first year with us, right?
Yep.
Great. Next question. Why did you decide to make the move from where you were originally to come over here? What made you choose Amon Real Estate?
Well, I felt the need to find a coach or a mentor of some sort, and ultimately I felt like, what an opportunity to have a coach here, locally, in a boutique company, that the broker would personally take time to train me. And so that's when I started talking to you.
Great. I'm glad you made that choice, by the way. So, take me back. I can assume at one point you say, okay, I've got to make the move because what I'm doing right now is just not getting me to my goals. I'm making the same amount of money I was before. Probably wasn't worth it, right? Of all the options out there, lots of companies. Specifically, what do you think you influenced to come here versus any of the other ones that maybe you get a coach, say, somewhere else?
Well, so I felt that it wasn't really going to be the company that was going to do it necessarily. As far as, say, maybe a branding standpoint, I knew that I was going to need to surround myself with a broker who had been there, done it, and who are doing it right now, who was willing to personally take the time to work with me day in and day out. And then as I started to realize, as I did my research, that most of the brokers locally didn't personally provide any training. They just assigned you to some low-level middle producer agent who was supposed to mentor you.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just very true. So your goal when coming here was to learn, and our apprenticeship for new agents, that really stood out for you?
Yeah, I mean, the training directly from a broker, along with the detailed plan laid out in the program, it was just really different than what I saw from the other brokerages.
Okay, awesome. So what are a couple things that you can put your finger on right now that have allowed you to grow your business, say, up to this point?
Well, I listen to my coach. I just kind of follow the process. I stick with it, believe in it, kind of take a leap of faith and just be persistent about it.
Okay, great. So now you've been in the industry and you've worked with agents from different companies. What would you say is the biggest difference between where you're at now in the environment or what we provide versus what else is out there?
Well, I think it's clear that many of the agents out there don't have the assistance of their broker. So when they encounter a problem, they don't have the training or the resources to handle them smoothly. So it can make it really difficult to work in transactions with them because they just don't have the tools to do what's necessary.
Right. I totally agree with that, which is why I go out of my way to make sure I have time to work with my agents. So if you sat down with a brand new agent thinking about coming in the business, what's one piece of advice that you could give them that you think would be top of the list, most important?
Most important thing for a new agent, I think that's to believe, to look at what your goals are, what you really want to be, the position you want to be in, to find yourself a coach, whether it's with our company or with an outside company, but have something that's really somebody that's really going to hold you accountable for your goals and making sure that you can meet them. Okay, great. So what do you think right now
knowing what you know and knowing what you've been exposed to, what do you think the possibilities are for your career?
Well, I think they look good. I mean, I'll put it like that. I think about it all the time. One part of our company is more from just a, well, how many deals are you going to close? But it's really kind of a mindset to believe in myself, to position myself, to thinking about these goals, thinking about the future, where that's not really something I did before because I was more concerned about the politics of my work environment. So now it's really just opened up so much more. It's so much more than just kind of chasing that next closing to get a paycheck. It's about creating a future for myself and my family.
So it sounds like you've got some, if I'm hearing you correctly, you've got some freedom now that since you've got your income and being able to survive taken care of, now you've got the freedom to actually start dreaming and doing some bigger things.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, 100%.
Okay. So one last question, in one sentence, how would you describe the company as you see it right now that you're with?
Dynamic. In a word, I would say dynamic. Again, just the camaraderie that we have, the true team atmosphere that we have, the energy that everybody brings, that I bring, that you bring, that Hutch, James, Elisa, Lori, everyone here, we're really just looking to achieve the same goal, all working together.
Awesome. Joe, what great information. I know everybody's going to enjoy it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming on today.
No problem.
Thank you, everybody.
That's it.
Turn it off.